So chapter 1069 is out. We owe all there is to desire. Is desire the will of D? Is it dreams, dawn, desire? We still do not know, but it's starting to seem like we're heading in that direction where the will of D might be revealed. Anyway, let's get into the chapter. Spoiler alert, there is a break next week, so this holiday season we're going to be getting a lot of breaks, so be ready for that, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can keep track of all the latest One Piece content from the last Yonko. Anyway, guys, this chapter is easily S tier, right? We get action, we get new transformations, and we get legendary lore dumps. So we got it all on this one, guys. Don't forget to hit that sub button. I'm telling you now, man, I got a lot of people watching my videos that are not subscribed. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the last Yonko out. So anyway, in this chapter, we even get more foreshadowing that our boy Borsalino Kizaru is on his way to Egghead with a mission that he had before CP0's arrival. So it's very easy to forget that CP0 is its own separate branch of the government. I believe they work right under the Gorosei. So sometimes them and the Marine Admirals might clash a little bit. So I think we might see something like that soon, where I personally feel like Kizaru is Team Vegapunk, but we'll see, right? Because it's kind of odd that Kizaru and CP0 will have the same exact mission, even though Kizaru was on his way beforehand. So unless there's like a twist, right? Unless there's a twist and Kizaru ends up being like the leader of CP0, which would be pretty nuts, not gonna lie. But one of the coolest things about Kizaru heading to Egghead Island is that it's gonna be the ultimate foreshadowing, you know, full circle moment, because there's an awesome panel back in the Sabaody Archipelago where Luffy is saying that one day I will definitely beat you guys to the ground, you know, and he's talking about Kizaru, Kuma, and Sentomaru, I believe, if I remember correctly. But I'll put the chapter up in a picture so you guys can see it. But it's pretty crazy that now he's finally gonna get his revenge. The revenge tour is going down at Egghead Island, and Luffy wants all the smoke. Luffy's gonna get his vengeance, and I can't wait to see Luffy actually go toe-to-toe with an admiral. I'm not sure if we'll get to see it, but I am sure we're gonna see some of the Straw Hats fight an admiral, and it's gonna be pretty sick, because we saw how the Red Scabbards did against an admiral on Wano. Now we'll see if the Straw Hats can defeat an admiral on their own, which I personally think they can, even without Luffy's help. I think that all the Straw Hats, even without Luffy, even without Zoro, I personally think they have a good chance against an admiral, especially with the light gloves, right? The light gloves, the light boots that are provided to them on Egghead Island. I think they can make something happen. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see, right? Maybe that's a hot take. You know, they don't need Luffy and Zoro. Maybe Zoro, they might need Zoro, but I feel like Sanji and the rest of the Straw Hats might just be enough to either take out an admiral or give him an extreme diff fight at the very least. Anyway, I was excited to see Kaku go full awakened hybrid giraffe god mode, right? I knew there was a hybrid giraffe mythical god mode, right? But unfortunately, we get a fully awakened Rob Lucci, right? You know, obviously I'm kidding. I am super hyped to see that that One Piece is going deeper into the awakenings, right? Especially now that we're in the end game. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of past characters, you know, past Luffy opponents that are gonna show their awakened forms, right? I feel like Devil Fruit Awakenings are gonna become more and more normal, and I'm really excited to see maybe characters that were pretty awesome back in the day maybe show off some new abilities. Maybe people like Crocodile, right? Maybe even, well, Doflamingo was already awakened, but you know, Enel, if Enel ever comes back, maybe he has some new awakened form that, you know, we haven't seen yet. I don't know. But I am excited. I am excited that awakenings are becoming a more common thing now. I wouldn't be surprised if even Kizaru himself shows off some type of awakening, right? Maybe he's like some kind of light god, or maybe he can expand his light to cover like an entire room, right? And he's like omniscient, omnipresent, right? That word where he's everywhere all at once. I could totally see something like that happening as well, where he can attack you, you know, from every direction because he's literally light itself. Like maybe that would be pretty sick, right? So we went out of focus a little bit there. So obviously this chapter's, you know, biggest highlight is, you know, awakened Luffy versus awakened Rob Lucci, the rematch, right? It's finally going down. I called it in the last review, right, that the rematch is definitely happening, right? Both awakened zone users. I'm glad we get to see Luffy go straight into Gear 5 because it makes me feel that it might not be as draining as we initially thought, right? So in Wano, we saw him kind of go old and gray, but maybe that had a lot to do with the fact that he's been fighting Kaido for like 6 hours already, right? And he's been defeated like twice. So his stamina had already taken a huge hit. So maybe this means that this is going to be his new default super form, right? Like maybe he's not really going to need Gear 4 as much as we thought. He's just going to go straight from, you know, base form to Gear 5 whenever he's fighting somebody that's like, you know, powerful. So I like this, but at the same time, I do feel like it would be cool to give us some moments where Gear 4 is more preferable to Gear 5, right? Like maybe Gear 4 has more overall attack power, right? Because like I'm thinking like, I'm pretty sure Bound Man has like more power output than like Gear 5's like Mole Punch, right? That he did on Rob Lucci in the chapter. So I just hope that there's still moments where Gear 4 is preferred, right? Like maybe there's a situation where he'd rather go Gear 4 than Gear 5, you know, depending on the opponent. Like Gear 5 has to have some type of weakness, right? Like maybe he can't go, you know, full serious mode, right? Because when he's in Gear 4, he's serious, right? He's like bloodlusted almost. Not really, but you get what I'm saying. He's more focused, where I think like in Gear 5 he's so playful that maybe that might be its downfall in certain fights, that maybe it's better to use Gear 4 in certain fights. I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but it would be cool to still see that there are situations where Gear 4 is preferred, even though it does seem like it is more taxing because it involves so much hockey usage, and Gear 5 just seems to be something that he might be able to just go into right away. Like when a zone turns into their animal form, it's not super taxing on them. Maybe that's how it is for Luffy, where he's just going into his, you know, mythical form or whatever. So we'll have to wait and see. But I do hope they do something like they did in Naruto, right? I think in Naruto, remember when Naruto had Sage mode and then he unlocked QB Chakra mode? I think there were some fights where like Sage mode was still the better option. Like, I think when he fought the Raikage, like the Raikage's reincarnation or something like that, that it was better to go Sage mode because of the sensing abilities and like the reaction speed, something like that, that it was preferred over the QB mode. I don't know, but I just hope they do something like that, because Gear 4, you know, all the forms, Snake Man, Bound Man, Tank Man, I think that was really cool, and I hope they don't completely get rid of it, right? Anyway, back to the chapter. While this epic fight is going on, we get Dr. Vegapunk. He's dropping some epic knowledge, right? He's predicting all sorts of things, right? He tells us his hypothesis for how the devil fruits work, and basically his explanation is that devil fruits are the manifestation of people's dreams and wishes. I will go deeper into this in a future video, but this makes so much sense when you think about it. Oda has been foreshadowing this for a long time, ever since Blackbeard was introduced, and even during Roger's execution, we got hints of this, you know, dreams never dying, dreams manifesting and being immortal, right? That dreams never die, dreams live forever. We've been getting that for so long now, and it looks like we're finally going to see exactly what Roger and Blackbeard really meant. So in this chapter, we also learned that the Seraphims actually have a hierarchy of who they listen to the most, right? Who has the most authority over them. So at the top, it is the Gorosei, then Vegapunk, then Sentomaru, and then anybody with an authority chip like CP0. Which leads me to believe that the Seraphim will play a huge role in the entire endgame of One Piece, because if we know that the Gorosei have the most authority over them, it leads me to believe that we're definitely going to see during the final war the Gorosei taking command of some of the Seraphim against Luffy and his crew, right? So expect the Seraphim to be here for the rest of the final saga. For a little bit, I was thinking, I wonder if they're only going to be a part of this arc and maybe the next arc, but it looks like they're going to be a part of the whole saga. So Luffy and Sentomaru reunite, and Luffy's all jolly, right? He's in his Nika mode. Why am I getting bleeped? I said Nika mode, right? So anyway, Sun God Nika. Sentomaru is very lovable, right? I don't know, I've always found this character really funny and pretty cool, right? I've always enjoyed this character. I felt like he had a funny design, but he still gave me like a tough energy, right? Like he looked like a strong character. He was even one of the first characters to show us Rio. He might have even been the first one, right? So I've always had a love for Sentomaru. I don't know why, right? He always just had me. I got a love for the guy, but you know, so everything's going well. Like Luffy's like, all right, Sentomaru, you know, I'm gonna help you out. Vegapunk's my boy now. That means you're my boy now. We're all gonna be boys. Let's do this thing. Let's get out of here. Let's escape. Let's you know, I'm gonna take Vegapunk with me. But anyway, I've always loved Sentomaru, and suddenly my boy Sentomaru gets handgunned by Rob Lucci. And Luffy's pissed, right? Luffy, he was trying to like make up with Sentomaru. He's like, look, you know, I know we had our rough patches in the past, but we're gonna be boys now. And Sentomaru's like, I guess, let's do it. They're about to shake hands, and Rob Lucci just comes with the freaking handgun, man. And that's the cliffhanger, right? Do you think Sentomaru is out for the count? Do you think he's out, guys? Let me know in the comments what you think the next chapter will consist of. Another thing I want you guys to let me know your opinion on is, will we see Gear 5 Luffy get angry? Will he get rage-filled? Will we see the rage of Sun God Nika on full display, right? Because even during the Kaido fight, we never really saw Nika get too serious, right? Maybe during that final punch against Kaido, we saw him get a little serious, right? But I want to see, if this guy's supposed to be a god, I want to see an angry god. I want to see what an angry god looks like, right?